This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. Rabbit in my teeth I rise, dripping water, eye shining like a fox. Graceless, I cough the rabbit out, spill river from my seams. I am better. I am just the same. Exactly a year ago, I stood exactly across the river and went down below the surface in advance of the flood. My timing was off. I remember 3 things from my dream bubble at the bottom of the channel. 1, I dug my feet in the silt and it caked on my shoes. 2, when my skin grew soggy like an old dead fish, someone came and unzipped it along a secret perforation, so it all came off in one piece. 3, they put a rabbit in my mouth and said that I must keep it warm. I ran out of breath before resolve. As I surfaced, my heart expanded 3 times its size. My patchwork dress strained at the swelling. I shift back and forth, trying to recognize my motion in the mirror, window rattling at the end of a short, dark hallway. I saw everything lifted, turn 90 degrees and set back down. What was once the sun giving east is now the dark north. This whole world is Warrens and windows facing the wrong way. My rabbit shows me the hole they hide their love letters in. News of trysts, assignations, disappearances, clandestine abortions. I stake my hand in the hole along the south turn west wall, up to the wrist, up to the elbow, up to the shoulder, up to the 4th joint I never before needed a name for. All I find is a postcard announcing my sister-in-law's pregnancy. In this rectilinear world, I declare it a crime to bear our blood. Through the window in the south turn west wall, there's a painting of 3 blue birds on 3 white branches. 3 dogs lie on the couch. Our original sin was the creation of fiction, giving in to our need for reason and resolution. When me and my man bred like rabbits in the back of an Acura, blasting AFI, try as we might, only blood and shit came out. We counted ourselves lucky when the rainbow spread across the sky. My brother says he survives on the floodplain by countering dangerous waves in sets of 3. You are the 3rd. You are the 1. You 3 will become 1, and water will not come for this house, because God promised to send fire next time. I know to smile at babies. I know to hold the door open for elders and anybody with full hands. I know rabbits run from dogs even when dogs don't chase. I know not to write poems about rabbits when we're in an emergency. Emergency in the window pane. Emergency in the paper mask. Emergency in the formica. Emergency in the pickle jar. Emergency in my ill-fit dress. Emergency in the discolored skin beneath my fingernails. Emergency in the fire that drives rabbits from the forest. Emergency in the forest and the absence of the forest and historiography of the forest. Emergency buried by the doctors in the flood-doomed warren of my heart. My insides strain like perpendicular facets of a Rubik's Cube trying to turn all at once. When they crack open my plastic hinges, still more rabbits spill forth. Rabbits deserve to be kept warm and dry. Deserve to see the sun, its bright burning from dawn to dusk. Deserve to lift their rabbit noses to the sky and know that neither fox nor dog looms downwind. Rabbits rise up from the ground and beg me to raise them to the heavens. Me and my rabbits ain't going in no flood. Rabbit in my teeth I rise, dripping water, eye shining like a fox. I am better, I am just the same. I do not take my eyes from the rabbits to look back to that far shore. When someone asks if I mind the silt stains or the tautness of the stitches, I must say this is this and that is that. I pretend to comprehend what I see like a machine, cut out with stencils from any picture provided. Here a giraffe from a tree. Here a little dog from a restaurant window. Here a rabbit from a plot of raw dirt. Do not tell me the world is cohesive. Do not tell me to be cohesive in an ill-fit world. Pity me when I limp or pull at a seam. or fail to shrug a shoulder as it comes undone. No one will ask me and my rabbits if we mind the smoke pouring from the floorboards. I'm awake. I'm alive. I could catch a rabbit with my bare teeth. When I cross the finish line, the tortoise will bang himself like a gong, and rabbits will ring from my ears and rain down from the rafters. Bubbles burst like rabbits in my veins as I rise. I came back from the water to carry them in from the cold. I say a prayer perpendicular to sunset. Yes, I believe in the healing power of prayer. Yes, the good Lord knows my name. Yes, he has sent fire this time.
This is the day, this is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. This is the day that the Lord has made. That the Lord has made. And be rejoice and be glad in it. And be rejoice and be glad in it. And be glad in it.
Whew, okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming in person. Thank you for tuning in online. I'm really stoked to be here. We're in for a wild ride, if I do say so myself. Joining me tonight is Kiani Fiona and our friend Smegmo. For those of you who don't know, Smegmo is a character we created, debuted earlier this year. It's our little extraterrestrial visitor. So yeah. Smegmo inverts the variety. The tentacles want to reach out at every gleaming commodity. Everyone made nasty by the passage of so many hands. Planter to picker to packer to grocer. How do they get anything done with just those tiny fingers, it thinks. Smegmo races down the aisle, dodging carts and shoppers, slapping bags of noodles and rice. Smegmo, if it had a voice, would sing. It understands these of song now. Even the dangerous things are arranged so delectably. The Drano, the Lysol, the Mop and Glow call the Smegmo. Mix us in a bucket and dip in your eye. We are the essence of beauty. Yes, Smegmo would be queen if only it had a bucket. But that's what the market is for. Filling empty space in your life with food, drink, chemicals, plastics, metals, paper, wood, lighting fixtures, air conditioners, buckets, things that fit in buckets, things that do not fit in buckets. Smegmo sprawls on the floor, warm and whole. Thank you. Also a reminder, if you're watching online, if you like what you see and you want to help me pay rent or pay for gas or food or whatever I buy, you're welcome to tip me. A portion goes to the theater and to Kiani and to myself. If you're here in person, please buy merch or just throw money onto the stage is also fine. Yeah, thank you. The ideal is someone comes quietly into my bedroom. They don't have to be sexy, but should at least be cute. They wear something with polka dots. They have delicate hands. They're holding a claw framing hammer. They move calmly and directly, not hurried, but succinct. They climb into my bed. They massage my neck, let my head relax into the pillow. They pat my hair down until the roundure of my cranium is clearly visible. They hammer my skull until it cracks like an egg. I am well aware that the wetness of bone, the blood pressure, the network of tissue will not let a real human skull crack like an egg. But this is my fantasy. Inside is a thick, black-red pudding of brains and blood. It gets on the hammer. The pudding flings about the room as the hammer goes up and back down again. They smash my skull and its brain until the shape is gone. The assailant is clean. Their polka dots unmarred. The hammer is filthy, but they are clean, and I am at peace. Yeah. I do this all for the attention, so please, lavish it on me. Today, I don't want to talk about how the world is burning. I want to talk about butterflies. But the butterflies are, hush, don't even open your flapping lips. I know all about butterflies, how they bob in the light, ravenously tending to the sex of flowers. One day, I too will come of age and ravenously tend to sex. But you never even, I will sew your mouth shut, you breath of foul air. Midsummer is a hall of mirrors. My roommates play games with my rabbit heart, sitting still as if the earth isn't spinning. But we don't actually feel the, damn you, you less than sentient artichoke. Listen to what I'm telling you. If they stop moving, I can't see them. The wind's breath only gets hotter. I need to vibrate higher. My shadow on the floor is not so much like a bird, yet I adorn myself with shiny things. I run my credit cards up. Birds don't have credit. Yeah, dipshit. They don't even have wallets. I can't think of what to do with my free time, so I snort Ritalin and melt plastic. Bored people are boring. False. Following that logic made me obnoxious. I can think of plenty of things to do. I know what a bad idea looks like. I just like looking at them. I really think everybody sat like house right, so I'm like trying not to play just to y'all. Thank you for coming again, but you know, adjustments. Unaccustomed to the distance between his chair and the table, very drunk man stumbles, then turns to the camera and says, "You are of course meant to abhor or pity me, perhaps wag a finger, say you did it to yourself. But this close-up should carry on just long enough for you to begin to identify with my vulnerable belly." And you think, damn, this got meta quick. What a piece of... But he turns, chokes barfully, bolts for the rear of the bar, but retches voluminously on the floor. Nobody's shoes, nobody's jacket, nobody's bag, just the smooth scoured hardwood. A perfect circle of puke. Really, everyone's quite amazed, easily. Very drunk man's not alone in his cups. How it toes the line, like a puck, like a plate. It begins to rise, spinning slowly, dazzling in the neons. Very drunk man knows something is off, but is too far gone to finger it. Still warm from inside him, it comes for him. It wraps him like a blanket, like a husband's arm. Very drunk man nuzzles his vomit blanket and both eye the camera. Don't ask how the vomit blanket eyes the camera, it just does. And they speak in unison. Don't. Your grandfather's getting to the age where we can't take care of him. You know you want to, but we both work and you've got school, and frankly it's getting to the point where it's dangerous for him to be alone. We've done a lot of research into the best nursing homes around, and we can't afford them. We know life has been hard for Grandpa since Grandma left him for that cashier from the Shell station, half his age, with several more teeth. And we think what would be best would be for us to take him on a trip along the coast, right along Highway 101, and somewhere, when the sun is golden over the ocean, and the highway traverses a bridge over a river mouth, throw him from the car into the water so he can swim with the salmon he loves so much. The bartender knows a haunting when he sees one. He swats a vomit blanket with a stiff bar broom. He knocks over a very drunk man. Vomit blanket decomprises, becomes a vomit pool, and several vomit stains on a very drunk man's clothes. As the camera closes in on his face, you might be thinking, that's not very relatable. But as you watch for his breathing, you think, my God, my God. In the turn of hips, there was suffering there too. In waiting for my weekly walks in the park, I feed the birds and wait. I stand erect in my shoes atop the mud. Why recreate our shame? I tessellated a grid of stars across your back and waited. What distance was there I put to bridge? Why recreate? I can't remember how you saw me while we were fucking. Nothing wanton in living for my weekly walks in the park. I grow fangs. I grow fangs to watch your blood flow down their length. I feed the birds. What if I ate dozens? There's a distance. Once a week is better than nothing. Nothing is worse than once a week. It's been 3 months since anybody touched me off the clock. Today, it's a red-headed gremlin and a cute boy who says he remembers me because I hurt his nipples last time we shot together. He smells vaguely of piss, though it could be the loner underwear the doofus producer said he washed. During the 8 rounds we spend untying ourselves, I give myself a mat burn scooting away from the gremlin. I wish he would not use his mouth. We stage it so Piss Boy wins. He coquettishly asks to be tickled during the finale. He gets hard, pretty dick. No wonder they cast him. I'm tempted to ask if they want me to finish the job, but I'm supposed to be the standoffish, hard-to-get type. One. The wind has stripped all from the garden but the dry dirt. Tonight, we eat dirt. Tomorrow, we come to the garden and pray something has sprung up overnight. How will it grow if you don't plant? You might ask, you needling bastard. You sour muffin, you sick-souled goblin liquor. We bend our backs every day to the earth, and this is how you treat us. Well, since you're in the habit of asking stupid questions, here's a stupid answer. We take what the weather doles. 2. I take it from the basket and set it on the table. You take it from the table and screw it in the socket. Our hands never touch. You never wait for me to set it down on the table. I sometimes wait for you to pick it up from the table to make room for me to set it down again. We work without speaking, though we must have spoken at some point to arrange who would do the setting and who the screwing. It plinks when I set it down on the table. The threads creak their metal creak when you screw it in the socket. Outside, the Max rings its silly little bell. Silly little Max, we already heard you coming. We'd strung up the mayor by the ankles and were beating him with a stick to make him tell us where the key was. We hit him with a small at the back and he said, I'll pass rent control, only please don't beat me anymore. Idiot, we said. After we're done with you, we're going to beat up the landlords. Rent control won't mean shit. And we hit him in the back of the ribs and he coughed and said, I'll give you control of the police. I'll make them do your bidding. Stupid puke stain, we said. We cut through the police to get to you. What's left are cowards and pencil pushers, and they're no less our enemy. And we hit him on the back of the head, and his nose ran up and spilled over with blood, and he said, fine, I'll give you the gold-plated baseball, signed by every member of the local minor league team, everybody from the last winning season, the coach, too. And we all turned to Jenny, because we knew she was a collector. But when we waved the beating stick at her, she took it and hit the mayor in the face until his face caved in. She found the key hidden way up his ass. How she knew to look there, I don't know. But like I said, she was a collector. That one goes out to Ted Wheeler. One bird mangles another outside my window. I miss so many lovely horrors with my windows undusted and my shelves of unreads unsorted. They demarcate precisely how much more stupid I am for living this way. I peel back the carpets and vacuum their edges like gums. Some days, you'd rush home and take a deep breath of subliminally refreshed air to justify your rushing and my lounging. Those days, we sang to keep the walls up through our weak atomic force. Despite some effort, you did not starve to death. I choose to believe the scents of paprika and turmeric shined like lighthouses to lead you safely back to your hunger. Despite some effort, I am confined to forming an armistice with these electric yellow stains. I have been electrified in kitchens, electrified in restaurants, electrified in grocery stores, electrified fed, electrified hungry, electrified cooking. There's cooking to do, dusting and laundry. I must peel back every inch of these empty rooms, sort the absences by color, hang them to dry like wet Rothkos, hermetic chapel to time spent wallowing in the bad thoughts. I peel back my gums, scrub my teeth like dishes, and smile to set them dry. I am domestic, clean, and good. I have, because of my electrical imbalance, time but no space for another to occupy. It's 45 degrees outside, but I have thrown the windows wide. Fond memory of a long Pink Floyd song chiming through the squamous clutter. I'm always rushing in and out. I make messes just to mop them up. I could mop his messes, suck his cock, pat it dry, and pray with him for warmer weather while fucking the winter away. I am dominant, clingy, garish. I sing songs without decency or syntax. Sing to keep the walls up, sing to keep the dust at bay, sing to echolocate among boxes, baggage, unread books. Please, let me tend to you. I will wash your feet. wash your dishes, wash your teeth, peel back your gums and your carpets, and electrify you. You know the mirror is the opposite of you. Leaves are green, birds tweet. You're a pattern-seeing machine. You know leaves hate green, defined by what they leave behind. You've known objective truth in 3 dimensions out of every 4. It all seemed clear in daylight. The bird alight your mirror seemed to tweet, in the classical sense, seemed to tweet. False prophet, you have not dropped a line to the heart of all matters. But you have known hours as angles of shadow on carpet. Everything in order, you and your mirror added to 0. You know adenine's opposite is not thymine, but its own right hand. Your calculations are flawed. Behind your throat, the lines vanish without converging. Every moment is a replica of the same moment a little birdie whispered in your ear. You have known hours, leaves, have seen right through yourself, you and your bird. Of course, just you. You know you haven't got heat enough to synthesize sugar, let alone hold yourself together when adenine skips a beat. And your birdie tweets, you know, you might be wrong. Thank you. My dry mouth is a lot worse right now than it was during rehearsal. So there'll be a lot of slurping noises on the feed. You're welcome for that. Maybe somebody's into that. I don't want to know. And again, please spend your money on me. Buy merch. If you're here, buy it online. I'll have a website soon. Or just, again, tip me if you're on the stream. And again, thanks for tuning in. I'll welcome Kiani and Smegma back to the stage. Smegmo is not chill. Instead of decoding z-axes and double integrals, Smegmo is suction cup fucking the laminate surface of his desk. The guitar is a little too fuzzed out to really wail. Comes out as more of a gargle. Smegmo is learning to love the universe. Really love it. Lusty, greedy, jealous, paranoid love. Love it like a thing that could be taken away. Like a thing that could leave. Smegmo divides the space between things by the span of its lower tentacles. Smegmo is on a downward trajectory, reckons the earth is the biggest hunk of stuff it can wrap itself around. I have come to understand how all things touch without touching, how the thing and the space between are inseparable, the pulling together, the want, the external pressure to cohere and distinguish the self, despite being merely a pattern of collisions. Smegmo is all shaken up. The tentacle sucks itself dry against the desk. Now, with the sing-along chorus, the stars whir and burn, gravitational stepping stones back home. Shine me back to where I'm from. Let me tell them how sexy it all is. Spaghettify my love, wrap me round the expanse. I can't believe I've ever been apart from everything. Smegmo is bashful in the presence of its beloved. He hears father call him faggot for wearing a collar. Carries the word like a stone in his throat. Admits he loves men more than God. Leaves home, attends a pride parade. Discovers someone he can hate more than himself. Declares he has no culture. Hates clubs, hates drinking, hates pink. Wishes he wasn't so alone. Wishes gay men liked history. Wishes gay men went to church. Declares gender to be a burden. Doubts if the boy in class is gay, runs from the man hitting on him at a party, prays a man will fall from the sky to love him so he doesn't have to do it himself, moves about the world like a glass bird in a case, grows more transparent by the day. I made a mistake here in arranging the set list. These are about 2 different people who did know each other, but anyway, just so you know. He snakes through my comforter. I draw no nearer. He steals my seat. I draw no nearer. I cannot prove that he and I are beautiful. Winter now. Our cupboards are picked clean, but for rice, spices, and liquor, wait out the toilet water saturating the ceiling. I lance piss from plaster blisters. Wastewater springs from overflown pots and plastic cups. I fill my mouth with filth to consecrate my blessed omission. I have drawn the line between want and need. What's left is scraps and offal. Rain soaks the ground. The mud plucks me from the frantic life I lead. This earth womb will bear the completed self of me, fundamentally unchanged, just ushered down the aisle. When I take my seat, I count the lights by luminous spine, algebra of interdependence. If the mass is changed, and the hull is changed, and the deck, and the sail, and the anchor, what would I do with a soul if I had one? I'm in no position to put on a utilitarian front. I have a whole box of toys I keep around for their various textures. I don't even know their names, so they must have names in some catalog, maybe mysterious alphanumerics, but I'm sure my name is as mysterious to them as it is to me. One could lean over the center console and kiss the other. It would be clear and consensual, and their love neatly consummated. Instead, they'll go together again to another party next weekend among another 4 people, on drugs which continue to insist their egos are imaginary and push them in pairs ever closer to touching. They transmute one body need for another. Among 4 bodies, a collapsing building and a feathery treble mystery teased out by a DJ, cum noise artist, cum curator of 4 simultaneous cybernetic short films. The bodies abandon communication, its redundancy. Dance as duty, as prayer against decay. Dance through what they cannot touch. What is held open by the tedious sinew of want against the vacuum of their kinesis. What, if stripped away in a moment of stillness, leave each of them alone with the starless sky? This, the last party, and they, the last human dancer. I haven't been to the desert in a while. Let me gather my affairs. Before the dawn is the long dark, and before that, the blearing pallid of the west. The days are the chicken. I am the egg. I have every reason to believe the rain is coming, yet I leave my papers lying about, skittering in the breeze. How we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. When things are arranged, when my books are sorted by who lent them and how long they've been waiting, when I've applied every title of my oeuvre to the matrix, when I see it in print, then I can set this aside. In the desert, things are not nice and neat. I can't find my way by arroyos and stars and scents of creosote and juniper. I need my little boxes, my little maps, my little names for all the tender things I keep. If I were to admit how wild and strong the earth is, I would have to admit how wild and strong I am, and how that must be enough. They will suffer long, and so they should, to have these lithe arms that swim against the current so belligerent. Bless them, heaving lungs and tremulous unconfidence of the running water. They have no right to be brave, and yet they look to me. For all I've learned, I know nothing of my body, heaving thus, sagging thus. It does it on its own, I tell them. I have calories to burn. They have endless energy and aimless rage. Scrambling to shore, they dance to dry themselves. They turn circles in the air just like the water. I let myself for a moment expect one to raise from the surface of the earth, from the struggling of little stick arms, delicate model of our old bones. The sun will lean back for the evening. The kids will gorge themselves on melons. Their eyes will flutter, and someone more delicate than I will tuck them in, explain the water works thus, the air thus, but they will grow bored. Their wakefulness burn out like a candle. We bushwhack through vine maples and blackberries that rake at my sunburn. Someone as picky as I am ought to be more forward. Ferns carpet the slope down from the road, obscuring any safe footing. I don't flirt, I just aimlessly radiate charisma like mangled data spitting out of a black hole. Under an atrium of hanging moss, we find a creek not ankle deep. I haven't wanted you long enough to show my hand, a coward's logic. You were hoping for a river, you say, so you could undress and rinse off after all day at the ocean. I wonder briefly if you'll still undress, and if that undressing would be for my sake or in spite of me. You sit clothed in the creek. You splash water up your legs and your armpits. I soak my feet. I attend to the forces working against me instead of your tan skin glistening in the cool water. One day bravery will come for me like a spring rain, and the world will open up like an arsenal of wildflowers. The prescribed shells, 9 sand dollars, 5 black mussels, the Aristotle's lantern from one of those overpopulated purple urchins. I range these beneath the easterly branch of a pine presiding over a crescent-shaped collapse of sand. Wind does not penetrate this grotto, yet I am so cold my teeth click a Morse code antistrophe as I recite the words. I have such a gift for memorizing, for swallowing and vomiting on command. It's solstice, and all my stars are aligned. Pisces in vertigo, Aquarius falling out with its family, the full moon winking its obnoxious eye over the coast range. I pray my fingers melt into the aubergine night. Pray the glaucous moon shines through my body, but it only glows pale green off my skin. I do the little dance of praise anyway, kick sand up into the wind, howl like a drunk little tempest, not believing a thing, which is another kind of disappearing act. Thank you, thank you. Is this everybody's first time seeing me? No? Okay, cool, awesome. Everyone in the chat, put in the chat. I guess, I don't know if I get to read the chat later, but hopefully I do. Hope you're all having a good time at home. Hope you're having a good time in the theater. I'm gonna hydrate, and while I do that, I'll welcome Kiani and Smegma back to the stage. In this one, Smegma's gotten like a little famous for a little incident that happened with a little bird. If you buy the book or the Smegma USB with the audiobook, you can hear the whole thing and find out the plot. Yeah. Spend your money. Give me the money. I do poetry to make it big and be a millionaire because there's lots of money in poetry, as I think you all know. Yeah. Somebody hands Smegma a flyer for a local green party. Somebody hands Smegma a hat. Somebody hands Smegma a half-eaten hot dog, which in Smegma's eye is no less a complete object. Somebody hands Smegma a mic. Somebody shuffles Smegma through the emergency exit and the sunlight stings when they burst through the doors. Somebody throws a soda at Smegma, who changes colors when wet on wavelengths only visible to its greedy eye, and perhaps the eyes of those miraculous shrimp. Somebody flashes a titty. Somebody asks, "How are you enjoying your time on Earth?" But in the heat of the moment, Smegma can't remember a time before Earth. Smegma hands somebody a whole half-eaten hot dog. All right, for all you synth kids out there, hi, Frankie. Gonna give me a break to whip out my special noise machine. All right.
You'll die. 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 You'll die.
If we get too cold or hot, we die.
You'll die. You'll die. You'll die. You'll die. You'll die. You'll die. You'll die.
If we get too full of bacteria or viruses, we die. If we don't drink water, we die. If we don't eat often enough, or eat the right things too often, or the right things not often enough, or a thing our body one day decides is dangerous, we die.
You'll die.
If we get too full of bacteria,
If we get murdered, we die.
You'll die. You'll die.
If we fall off a ledge or an object falls off a ledge onto us, we die.
If we don't eat often enough or eat the right things too often,
If we get tricked by the promise of permanent shelter, water, and food into traveling to a foreign place, and an object propelled by a small explosive to a very high rate of speed, even faster than an object falling off a ledge, and that object pierces one or more of our organs, we die.
if we don't eat often enough,
If a cell gets so excited about replicating that it forgets how to stop, and teaches other cells and other organs how not to stop, and our flesh bubbles up and blocks all the little channels down which water slides, we die.
You'll die.
if we fall off a ledge or an object falls off a ledge onto us, if we don't eat often enough or eat the right things too often, if we get tricked by the promise of permanent shelter, water, and food into a foreign place, and an object smells, if we get held by bacteria, if we get murdered,
You'll die. You'll die. You'll die.
an object smells, we get held by bacteria, and we get murdered.
You'll die. You'll die. You'll die. You'll die.
An object smells, we get held by bacteria, and we get murdered.
You'll die.
An object falls off the ledge onto us.
You'll die.
Shelter by water, signs, you know,
You'll die. You'll die.
an object smells, we get held by bacteria, and we get
You'll die.
And still we believe we are immortal until we die.
Don't the sun make things brighter? You wait which figures are ready to walk themselves to the switch.
There's a pack of maybe 12 of us.
Dark with
Some are rags, almost all completely naked. The scene is so performative that it feels asexual. Everybody is a model or photographer. And although there aren't any cameras, the model is still preening and posed as if trying to lodge in your memory. The effect is a flock of migrating birds ruffling feathers in the mud. Half of us break off to explore the driftwood structure at the top of the island. Our feet are scoured smooth by the blistering sands. We try not to touch. Somebody's lecturing on colonialism. A guy they call the Builder is there with a Polaroid. We pose a dozen times. The butts curve out. The birds are satisfied.
In the dark. And the sun gets a little in the dark.
Mark. In my dream, I'm a carrot fattening in the soil. No one comes to the door to wake me, so I grow too plump to harvest. April. Everything sloughs off into the void. I'm not that into eating vegetables or learning bass. I don't think I could ever work a real job again. May. The wind erodes the inessential. It leaves me not even my hunger, only my breath, my stink, my hair. I exist reasonably, and within all reason is the hub of madness to which it is tethered. June. I laugh outside my body, larger than a bird, dancing silently. July. There are no phantasms to leash. I force feed that jerk off to radiant twinks more bored than me. The brain is just a microcosm of the body. The pills allow me to miss the animal of want. The house abides. I could paint a picture. I could fry an egg. I could vibrate the frequency of the refrigerator's drone. August. I haven't attempted in over a year. I sit very quietly. I count down to the hour, and then I count down the hour. Then I clock out and squirm, embarrassed to be free. September. I live from one bump of ketamine to the next. I pay to exist. I do dishes, I scrub toilets, I help friends move. I am tethered to madness. I strip, I acclimate to the soil. October. The room is decidedly three-dimensional. Height, width, space-time. As though through a television, I marvel how the slug of time creeps along the wall. I can touch everything. November. The sun is down. I tell people I'm working on the book. My metamorphosis is complete. Copy, paste, 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 copy, paste. I could have cooked for somebody, but I didn't. I wouldn't. I need to be told what to do so I can blame someone else for wasting my time. I dreamed a visceral poem. I dreamed swallowing someone to abilify the future turned to an expansive gray mush. My eyes stop moving and the world blears away. It's so peaceful, wiped blank. If God made the world, it would be all white. Will I have food? Yes. Will I have a roof? Yes. But tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow? There's an end to security. There's an end to sensibility. A day your hands will turn back to the earth, to the mouth. Hungry, you're screaming, you're drooling. The body will do what it must do, perish, despite doing what it does well, keeping little wheels turning in their cells. It honors human dignity for the meeting to run over time again, to be rescheduled across our calendars, to show how busy we are saving the world, how close we are to the people. The proof is in the careful watch we've kept. Every precious babe held safe in our tablature. Nobody dies, shits, bats an eye without our knowing. When we have fully rendered the world, we will run our calculations to solve for the beating of a new lover's heart, the kicking of a foal, the spreading of a root in the deep black soil. I don't drink. I just stand in the corner striking poses. Getting ready at home, I took great pride in manifesting a DIY aesthetic, but now that I'm here, I just feel poor. Obviously, if people can tell I made it, that myself, that means it looks cheap. But if I go around telling everybody I made it, I'll just embarrass myself. Other artists would get it. I deserve to be surrounded by artists. But parties are how you meet people, right? And I'm pretty enough to get away with wearing anything. I didn't discover I was beautiful until I was 19, and everyone in my theater troupe treated me like a superstar. It went to my head. At that age, I drank. I started wearing dresses and garish makeup. No one would fuck me, but I made impressions. People booked me. I felt myself wheedling my way to the seat of power. I never found it. Among the people smoking in the alley, there's a dozen people whose names I know. I can count on my fingers how many other facts I know about them. I can count on my tongue how many might remember my name. I try to make eyes with somebody, but I realize he's probably just barely 21. I don't smoke, and I don't think asking to bum a cigarette has made a good impression on anyone since the 1950s. I know what I'll do. I'll go up to the most audaciously dressed person in the alley, and I'll compliment their taste. No, I should say something catty. No, I should complain about the DJ. No, I should mention the weather. No, I should stand very still at the edge of the conversation and bark like a dog. I'm beneath them. I'm above them. Somewhere in this crowd is the person who whisked me away to the back room with the clean couches and the good drugs and the genuine conversation about things I have opinions on. Like Argentinian literature or anime. I can talk for a while about anime because I'm down to earth. I'm realistic. That's why I put myself in these positions. This isn't some bourgeois aspiration. I have good ideas and I want to share them with the world. I have to get noticed. I have to make connections. I have to get people to love me before they love my work, or love my work before they love me, as long as they love me. I've always known I deserve to be among the people. You know, the people really doing things. If they happen to be beautiful, it's not exactly a tragedy. Not beautiful like these packs of twinks and harnesses, all the same. Perfectly happy to fit into the modified iteration of clear they've been sold. I dare to stand out. I don't know how to fit in. How dare they look at me like that? Like, not at all. Like, don't you know I spent 4 hours sewing these lace panels on by hand? Well, they were what? Working HR or some startup? If they're all the same, why would I want one? I want someone bold and daring as I am. I want an artist. I want to be an artist so I can have an artist and be surrounded by artists and help shape the future. I'm becoming one faggot art house. Poetry, theater, puppets, photography, video, audio mixing, 3D printing. I'll learn to fucking paint if I have to. I'll design the world and pump out the kind of shit these faggots wear in their handbags. Christ, they're all the same. Why would I want one? They're all the same. Why can't I have one? It's y'all. Y'all are who I'm trying to impress. Yeah, I forget what my last one. Hold on, this is for later. Oh, I gave it away. But okay. Yeah, I'll welcome Smegma and Kiani back to the stage. While they're doing that, I'll remind y'all again, there's merch for sale outside. And if you're watching online, please tip me if you think I'm worth it. And if you don't, put it in the chat. Why not? Don't do that. Just text me directly so we can fight. Mounted, shivering, staring down the wind-carved throat of kaleidoscopic hills, a flower like sprinkles on a cake. Smegma rues the distance of this occupied territory, this expanse of stolen goods sitting unused like a battery on a charger. Mineral wealth. They say they own the earth itself. More value in dirt than blood. The horse flares his nostrils. Smegma doesn't have nostrils to flare. Smegma has never tried being in two places at once, but Smegma reckons travel through empty space to be the closest it can get. Smegma hasn't done the math. The horse begins to gallop. The seconds split to halves, the halves to quarters, the horse's quarters launching from the blood-stained surface of the earth. For that fraction of a second, and by extension, eternity, Smegma and the horse take flight, uncoupled from the earth's embrace, and Smegma is projected back home to the voluptuous cities of Technicolor, plastic, and chrome. But then, something else is happening. The horse is pummeling the earth. The kaleidoscopic hills of flowers scroll by like a curtain on a track. Smegma knows what they wanted when they blood-bullied their way onto this soil. Let them eat gold. Let it turn to blood in their mouths. Let them forget to loathe the taste. Yeah, let's give it an extra round of applause for Kiani and Smegma. This will be the last we see of them tonight. And now for the hits. The hotline lady says, "What's got you down?" I say, "My priorities are askew. I mean fucked, but I want to protect the hotline lady's innocence." I sneeze. The hotline lady says, "The maples are fecund." I say, "That's a weird thing to say." The hotline lady says, "Even trees gotta fuck." The hotline lady says, "You should move to France. The French love poetry." I say, "The French are killing protesters left and right." But I'm wrong again. It's only left. I say, "I wish I knew the French word for left." The hotline lady says, "It sounds like you have a lot of people who believe in you." I say, "Catholicism." The hotline lady says nothing, but spends a moment filling in the joke for herself. I say, "I'm feeling better." The hotline lady says, "Why did you call?" I say, "I'm feeling better, but I still felt like calling." The hotline lady says, "You're not better." The hotline lady says, "You were born pretty." My witch friend says, "You were born pretty." My grandma says, "You were born pretty." The grinder boy says, "Hi, handsome." I say, "My grandfather is dying." I say, "My boyfriend has herpes." I say, "My roommate thinks the neighbors are spying on her." The hotline lady says, I feel guilty for dominating the conversation." The hotline lady says, "You should take some time for yourself." The grinder boy says, hey. Tinder says, hey, it's for horses. I say, I feel like a horseshoe crab. The hotline lady doesn't get the reference. I say, I feel wet and ancient. My cousin says, you're like Cthulhu because you sleep all the time. The hotline lady says, Cthulhu is wet and ancient. This is a really fucking old poem I included in the set list. I don't know why, but I like it. I think you'll like it also. But I just look at it, I was like, I haven't performed this in a literal decade. And I was like, let's do it for the fucking retrospective. Anyway. Square between slate cliffs and rising water, we draw a line in the silt. Neither of us will cross it, nor wander too far from. We fill our beach with bones of gulls and morning glory. We arrange these like armies in retreat. Thunder cracks. Our spines straighten. Fear unites us. We raise a tent against the rain, but it falls through. We make our bodies small to hide, but still it binds us. The miracle of drowning is you never forget to breathe. We cling like rats, our voices softer than the rain, sharp as needles. We make our bodies small to hide, but we sink. If you can swallow a disembodied human eye whole without salt or sugar, please write to the enclosed address. I have an ant farm you could stitch together with all of your expendable mirth. You had so much time to learn, to bury a hole in which to hide your beautiful teeth among trees, and bite heads off birds for profit and pleasure. One day, you'll silence heaven's final chorus, every angel beating out its Morse code hymn. Believe what you read inside your mottled and cavernous skull. Let this graying barn be your cold manger, Temple Mount, Gethsemane, all. Planks of you will patch the roof and stay rafters from the rain. You string of stones, you accident of light. This next one is the newest poem. It's never performed in this version before, so it's its debut. In my dream, I'm enough of a badass to keep my friends safe. I am a clear, actionable plan. I am a knife. I am a people's army. I am a blood-soaked poltergeist who crawls out of the mirrors of billionaires and other unrepentant abusers. My dream is very convenient. She came to our house to feel safe, she said. Elsewhere, she was afraid of what people do with their hands in the dark. I do not feel safe, I said, in my own home. It is not my own. Our unrepentant landlord could evict us, which is very convenient. Liberals, like Freddy Krueger, have this superpower to turn nightmares to life. They dreamt this filthy city, this polluted rain, this rabid poltergeist of a girl. They do not dream my convenient knife body. I am not a warm place when I'm afraid, when I'm in danger, when I'm careening, when I am thermodynamic, when I am mammal, when I am poltergeist. I see what the city does in the dark. Rain-parched easements glut against concrete volition, voracious whisking away of life stuff, heat and night, tunnels on tunnels. You mean to tell me the conveyor belts way up on those stilts carried nothing from the silo and dumped nothing into the river this whole time? We export our pollution. We import our ennui. Everybody has an iPhone-shaped hole in their heart. Nobody balks at pulling nickel from the earth like teeth. When the earth is empty, we'll mine the landfills. When the landfills are empty, they'll mine our bones. Well, not our bones. The billionaires will need us to shovel trash from their path. And I, actionable badass that I am, phantasmic, convenient knife that I am, will cut bodies from the warm places, carry them down the tunnels, bury them by hand in the dark under the rain-soaked filth. We are past the point in free fall where dreaming of the ground brings any comfort. I am not too cool to be caught flopping my arms in lieu of wings. I boil with madness. I love you. I'm going to Argentina to fall in love. I go away, then I call you up. I meet your husband. He asks about Argentina. I tell him about you. You go to Argentina. I lose myself at sea in love with losing myself. I take you to the Pampas on my rented horse. I learn gaucho songs. I play for you. I take you on my rented horse from the Pampas to the city and the sea. You ask love to light the way. Night falls. The sea boils with madness. I boil with love. I scuttle in the dark. Your husband puts on a gaucho song. You dance. My personal skincare journey starts with a blue-eyed twink. No, not that kind of facial. I cringe every time he says aloha, but I let him regale me with tales of niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. I start dreaming of creams, tubes and tubs glistening on drugstore racks. I compulsively shoplift from disappointing local selections. Yes, that kind of petty. I'm not afraid of aging. I'm keeping myself fresh for LA. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna tear open my chrysalis, tight poured and well oiled, and they'll see me and say, yes, this one is the right kind of shiny, and I'll never work a day job again. I'll grow to resent it. I'll start drinking again now that I have a driver. I'll keep lifting even though I know everyone is watching. Yes, that kind of blemish. Long-winded apology, dark circles starting to show, deep sigh backstage, but maybe a bump, but only for the sake of the after party. In this fantasy, parties happen again. But really, I'm fine. I'm not driving. I'm staying young. I'm embalmed in retinol and Q10. I've been 26 for years. I jog. I show up to rehearsal on time. I can get it up again. All the little pills are doing their jobs. I feel like a hamster on a wheel, but I can pay the rent, and I only cry on camera. But by the time my eye cream dries, it's Portland again. Calling for snow tomorrow. I'll be at work answering phones. I'll get in trouble for sounding tired. No, not that kind of sleep. I read, poem in which Tom York laments being the emperor of a petrostate while ignoring the many states which have no oil at all, only cold, cold desert. The interviewer says, wow, that's the strangest syntactical poem I've ever heard. And I say, I have plenty of non-syntactical poems. And we both laugh, and he's taken by my charisma. And he spreads his hand on the desk, and I know he wishes it were my knee. So anyway, Radiohead. But instead of Creep, they play Astro Creep 2000 by White Zombie. Wind erupts my hair. The sun, perhaps from an open window high above the light grid, glints off the sunglasses I'm wearing to cover the mess of days-old makeup, which they only sort of accomplish, because I want to appear busy and cool more than put together. In my heavy metal fantasy, I bite my lip so hard it bleeds, and he licks his lips, and I know he knows I know he wishes it were my lips he was licking. The sound guy is good enough to mix White Zombie back into Radiohead like it was on purpose. I tell him, Tom York is a greedy baby. And the light guy can't decide who's the angel and who's the creep until the interviewer leans toward me, teeth bared like a semi-grill. And I'm an insect caught in his light, a pony-era stick shift aching to crumble under his wheels. I tell myself it's for the insurance payout, but he knows, I know he knows, I want a high-speed, high-visibility impact, and I drag Tom York because I'm jealous he even got one. Spread your arms out the way you held her when she grew too big to swallow in one gulp. Feel first her cactus spines across your neck, then her gentle belly laugh. The joke? Hardwired to the back seat of a borrowed car, no one holds a gun to her, but all four doors are locked. Slack-mouthed coyotes stare forward. The hood, the light, the rearview mirror, a stranger's hectic girlhood. There's no number to call. You call out the last name she sloughed off, eloping into the night. Unfurl it from under the bed and skulk with it draped over your shoulders when you need to wear the absence after all day carrying it. I'm broken, but not like this. Call out by name all the small moving parts that break. Coccyx, vertebra, perineum, equilibrium, proprioception, familiarity. On a long drive in the hill country, encircled by heat lightning, the distance itself is home. She adapts. She is spine, shrike, and impaled meat. Eat of her body. Remember her soft and small. Drink of her blood. Remember what makes all things grow sharp in the desert. Tonight, I'll buy a bottle of beer and a new sundress, and swing it in the streets, the bottle, and hoist it above my knees, the dress. The cops will throw me in jail. I'll meet my perfect lover in the morning. They'll beat me up, the cops. They'll lay me down to heal, the lover. All right, we did it. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching online. If you haven't already, please give me money. You can follow me at most places at Gay Space Communism Will Win. If you don't already, that's Gay Space Communism Will Win, which it will. I want to thank Kiani for puppeteering and Smegmo for existing. Thanks to Joe Bryan for helping build the Smegmo puppet. Thanks to Phil, Liv, Alan, Laurel, everybody at Coho. They're awesome. Definitely recommend working with them. Thank you all for being here in person. Thank you all for watching online. It's really an honor to get to do this. It's kind of a dream show for me, kind of hopefully the beginning of many more. But you all helped make it possible by being here. Thank you.
Gather close your chosen ones and tell them you love them. Gather close your chosen ones and tell them you love them. Build community connections. Talk about LGBT issues with your homes and workplaces. Encourage kids to be themselves. Excise homophobia by its root. Misogyny. Call out homophobia when you see it. Argue with your family. Make holidays awkward. Kill homophobes. Murder homophobes when they murder us. Burn down homophobic businesses. Assassinate homophobic legislators. Emulate the cops that come for your homophobe killing friends. Eat your homophobic landlord. Dismantle this homophobic country.